we sinned, the original sin, and which cut that thing that you understand. The angels,
But
they cannot function if they don't adore God, because that's how they are. It's like you want to put diesel in a car that's gasoline. Of course, something that's
doesn't
wrong.
match.
Yeah, it has to be how it was supposed to be.
But 5,000 years ago,
It's
there
like you put water in your lungs instead of putting air. Of course, something
you will
get
die.
wrong. Yeah,
You will dry it up.
So it's the same thing.
I know. I'm videoing it.
So if you use what is God's creation without Him, so something will get wrong with you.
I know.
And that's why he was always writing in the Bible.
It's empty.
The Old Testament, it's all the time. God was so strict na lang, Jude, no?
Really?
Like, if you do this, you're going to get cursed to the seventh
In the
generation.
Old Testament?
In the Old Testament, God was so strict
It's by the law.
because He wanted to form the people, to make them understand, because they just came out from this original sin, wherein they lost more, their brain or their DNA was programmed like the angels
To worship.
to worship, not to ask questions. That's why the angels can pray all the time like Jesus, because they're just doing what they are supposed to do, what they are made for. But Jesus is not made, no. But then the human part of Jesus is created, and Jesus could pray like hours and hours and hours. Why? Because
40 days.
Because
It's programmed to worship. And
and he cannot even feel the hunger over. Of course he feels hunger. No, derecho. Of course he feels hunger, but he cannot feel I prefer to eat instead of going to pray, to talk with man, because he has still this DNA, the Spirit of God, which we don't have. We have very little na lang, Jude.
so in the
Because
Old
it got
Testament,
broken.
we are programmed.
So God the Father
follow.
was always telling them, you do this, you do that, don't do this, don't do that.
So when
and then
Jesus came-
after that, the problem was that the Israel, the Jewish, they became too concentrated because they became very proud. Because it's power. If you know the book, the laws, it's power for you, because you can rise up very high, because they have a theocratic
Theocracy.
yeah, they have theocracy. So the priests are so much more powerful than the politicians.
Yeah.
It's even equal to their pharaoh.
Pharaoh?
During the Egyptian time.
And some people rebel. They don't want to follow. They're not followers. We
So-
want to follow our own.
So what happened was that Jesus was arrived because God the Father has programmed that long time ago, before He even created anything. Before He knew that
We
it is
are
already
made to
in His
worship.
plan
Yeah.
that we are made to worship, but we will disobey.
And
Like
so
the
Jesus
angels,
came.
there are two people who disobeyed. Half of the angels, or 1/3 of the angels disobeyed, and Adam and Eve.
And to redeem us, Jesus
the
came.
angel disobeyed first,
Yeah.
and then after
Lucifer.
he pushed the Adam and Eve to commit sin, to be with him, to cut
The obedience.
yeah, the harmony that they had
I see. In the garden.
and so that's why we became sinners and liars and murderers.
Just
and,
for two people, just for one temptation, we are cursed to be
Yes.
sinful nature,
Yeah.
just one saying yes.
But the
Eve.
difference was that the angels are more punished than us because they are perfectly programmed. If you use a computer,
Uh-huh.
they were perfect. So they knew perfectly. So they are perfectly punished. That means only one, how do you call this? Only one mistake, and they can never be forgiven.
So that's why Lucifer.
Never, ever, ever. You
Is-
cannot. Yeah, they'll never see God. That's the worst punishment. Never to ever see God.
But
And then,
Lucifer,
yeah, that's it. And all these angels, the 1/3 of all those angels, and then see,
there is no
what
forgiveness.
saved us,
There's no
Adam and
forgiveness.
Eve, is that we were created 6 days after the
The
angels.
creation.
The first creation
I
is,
see.
and God
Let there be
created
light.
light. Those were the angels.
Angel.
And then second, after that, and then He created the waters,
Animals.
and then the animals. Then He created man. So we are a creation. We have a body,
Mhm.
and that body is what saved us. Because if not, we will be completely condemned like the angels. So that's why all that God, the Father, knew already, even before He created the angels, even before He created man. He knew that man is going to disobey, and that
For
He
his
will have to
parents.
send His only begotten Son. And that's why the fallen angels, they hate us so much, because they cannot understand why
God
why
did not forgive them.
no, they're not even looking for forgiveness. They cannot understand. They're too jealous. Why He will send His only begotten Son for people like us who are really evil. And so He wants
They
to
made us evil.
He wants to show all the time that we are evil. You're evil. You're like, for example, when you feel like committing suicide.
Yeah.
But He's just saying you're evil. You're bad. You won't ever go back.
Yeah,
You won't-
because-
God will never take you back. Like what's his name?
Lucifer.
The one who sold Jesus.
Judas.
Judas. He could have just said, Lord, I'm sorry. And he would be perfectly safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't. And he was so frustrated. He was so lost
Uh-huh.
when he didn't cling to Jesus. He was so lost that he had to commit suicide. That's how the